Yes, it's okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Thank you very much for this invitation. I'm delighted to be here and share the Inmetra experience on digital transformation in legal metrology. Today, I will show that simple technology could also produce digital transformation. I will present a QR code project to improve market surveillance that had been developed at Inmetra's at legal metrology department in Inmetra. Nowadays, Brazil faces a critical legal metrology problem. Many commercial transactions in small business use no automatic weighting instruments without type approval. Those scales enter the Brazilian market by importation, usually as a non-commercial scales, for example, domestic ones. Once they enter Brazilian territory, they are sold on e-commerce platforms by fake users at a very competitive price. Usually, street markets and small business use these scales. It's a market surveillance nightmare. First, find the fake sellers and their storage is very hard. Second, Brazil is a country of continental proportions, and it's a great challenge to inspect all small business that use scales in their transaction. Let's look at the life cycle of an unapproved scale to better understand the market surveillance actions that could take place in each step. First, the scale is manufactured outside Brazil. Then it is imported. The most common is that import is done in large containers and that the importer declares that the scale is not for commercial use. After entering Brazil market, it is sold by e-commerce platforms like Mercado Libre, Shopee, Amazon, via internet. And then it goes to the final user. Mainly a small business point first step. Inmetro has no agent over a manufacturer that's outside Brazil. So there is nothing you can do here. Point second step. Some mitigating strategies is to act at a custom house, looking for scales with price information on this display, as there is no reason for non-commercial scales have the price value on this display. Third step, action with a marketer website to avoid the sale of these scales. We are building direct communication channels with these websites to request that irregular products for sale being removed from the websites as soon as possible. Well, finally, this project focuses on the commercial transaction. We want to provide citizens information about last verification of the scale so they can identify unapproved scales. Recently, Inmetro creates a certification authority. The main reason for the certification authority is to ensure digital certificates for mentioned instruments, to ensure the integrity and authenticity of measurement results. Once a digital certificate binds identifies to a public key, it's natural to foresee digital certificates as a solution for the unapproved scales problem. Unfortunately, this is a costly solution because it requires several changes in the instruments to secure the private key, increasing costs with electronic and digital certification. Product cost is a big concern here. Type-approved scales are at least 3 times more expensive than unapproved ones. This happens because they use more reliable components to comply with the legal metrological test requirements. Also, importers that declare their scales as a commercial should pay metrological control costs and more expensive tax. The great challenge of this project is that we can't use a solution that increases the final price of the approved scales. Otherwise, we will stimulate for the sales of unapproved scales. Almost all types of regulated measuring instruments in Brazil have a unique identifier called inventory code. Each instrument on the field has a tag identifying it. Inmetro has this inventory code for legal metrological control. For example, agents inform those codes to determine which instruments they perform a metrological verification. Also, Inmetro saves all information about the legal metrological control in database where the inventory code is a key identifier. Our idea is to use this inventory code as a parameter to search the information about the instruments on Inmetro's official website. We have discussed the importance of citizens in Brazil legal metrology system. We expected that this website will empower Brazilian citizens to become strong players in legal metrology. QR codes are the natural replacements to barcodes. And I'd like to highlight 3 main advantages of QR codes for this application. First, it's easy to read a QR code with a smartphone. And it's crucial that anyone can read it and get the instrument information at our website. Second, the large size of the message storage allows us to store the full URL. Our website, the full URL of our website, and not only the inventory codes like the barcode. Third, the QR code is more resistant to damage, like scratch, and we need the label continuous readable after years because it's not replaced regularly.
Pero con código QR, ¿oíste? Esa no la había escuchado.
So, this is the model of the label that we intend to use. Already this year, from June, the QR code stores the full URL below the image. So you can see here is the next inventory code, inventory label that we want to use from June. And here is the actual one, the current one. The main difference is that the current one uses a barcode, and the barcode stores only the inventory code, that is the number below the image, below the barcode. And the new one stores the full URL that is below the image, so it can point to a website. In this image, you can see the complete system as we foresee it. The scale has an inventory label with QR code. The citizen reads the QR code using a smartphone. the website displays the instrument information. In the first version of the website, we made it as simple as possible. All the instrument information is already in Metros database. So the website will search in the database for the instrument information that contains the model of the instrument, the timestamp of the last metrological verification, and if the instrument is authorized or not to operate. We know that copying or creating a QR code is extremely easy. And it is our biggest problem to solve in this application, because an attacker could use the same QR code for more than one scale, or even create a new QR code pointing to a fake Inmetros website. That's why we are planning to add other pieces of information in future versions of the website that could minimize this problem, such as photos of the instruments, geolocation data, and Inmetros database and geolocation data that Inmetros database is already to receive. However, inspectors do not collect it. Once they lack the equipment, they don't have a smartphone to work and use as old to work yet, and they use old palm tops like device. We also consider that the label with QR code could be used for many other applications. For example, reading digital certificates of food dispenser. As I said before, we create a CA that emits digital certificates to food dispenser, and we could scan this QR code to get from internet the food dispenser digital certification, for example. Geolocation of instruments in inspections. This is important because the inspector, when it goes to make an inspection, he wants to know where the instruments are. And geolocation is a very important data to him. Full integration with other Inmetro systems. We are planning to make an app for mobiles, and this app can verify the certification of food dispenser, and we want all the methodological all the attributes of metrology, legal metrology, are inside this app, and we think that the QR codes are important attributes to enter in this app as a parameter. Since we are talking about the use of QR codes for legal metrology applications, I also want to talk about other initiatives. The oscillometers approved on an annual verification have paper certificates to prove it's authorized to be used. These equipments are often used on roads where sometimes rain, and the paper certificates takes damage. From next month, this paper certificate will receive a QR code that will be used to open a website with a digital copy of the certificate and check its authenticity. So, the owner of the oscillometers will be able to carry a copy of the certificate and keep the original on a safe place. I'm deeply honored to present Metro's work to such an audience. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Bruno, for your talk. We will start with the questions. Currently, we have this question. Thank you very much. This is when you mention geolocation, the idea is to gather information from the web page, accessing info, or from the QR codes, or do you do this during the possible inspections, or what's the idea of that?
The idea is when the inspector goes to an annual verification, he will start the geolocation of the instruments in our database. And when the citizen scan the QR code, he will see where the place where was realized the last verification. Because and the other important thing is that if we start the geolocation, maybe if someone copy a QR code, we will have two different places, the same scale in two different places. And we can data mine our database and find these kinds of problem. With this information, we can direct our visualization to this instrument.
Thank you, Bruno, for answering this question. I have another question related to this is how do you identify uniquely the instruments? What information help you identify in this case? Like, do you use the brand, the model, a serial number, or inventory number? Or...
I'm sorry, Francisco. Could you repeat? I was reading the chat. Could you please repeat the question?
Oh, well, Ruben is asking, in the case of accredited laboratories that provide services in Metro, asked to use these QR codes?
Well, it will become in June, but if the laboratory has instruments that has legal metrological control, he will need to use this QR code. But the label with the QR code is the Metro who buy these labels and put it in the instrument.
Okay, thank you. I was asking you a different question also. What information do you use to identify uniquely the instruments? In this case, the balances,
okay,
the scales. Did you use the brand, the model, the serial number, inventory number, the owner? Maybe I don't know.
Yes, it's we call inventory code. It's a number generated in our system, but it is a sequential number with a validator code, but it is sequential.
Okay.
But all these labels are furnished by Metro. So Metro buy all the labels and furnish and give it to the instrument. the Inmetros employee goes and glue the label in the instrument.
Thank you very much, Ruben. It says that Carlos is asking to turn off your camera and Enzo. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any other question? I think maybe Francisco, who is raising his hand. Yeah, Francisco, go ahead, Francisco. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bruno. Thank you very much for your speak. And I want to know how are you using these QR labels? Is it possible to use them outside the metro from the cell phones with an application or something like that?
Yes, I think that every time you have some automatization that needs to read a number, it's much easier if you use the QR code. So maybe in the future, every regulated instruments, not only for Inmetro, but for other engines, will need to have the QR code with its identifier.
But I suppose that the QR code would be used with an application in order to read the information, but to consult a database in order to give more information about that, isn't it?
You're saying that we could use the QR codes to put more information than only the URL. That's right. What,
maybe not in the QR, but in an application. This application only reads the QR and take information from some place in order to give more information.
Yes, that's exactly what we are planning to do.
Okay. Are you planning to do that in the cloud or in your
Yes,
or in terms?
Because we have a website that is in the cloud, of course, but it connects to. I will explain. We already have a system we call SGI. It's like management instrument management system,
Okay.
and it is used only for our employees nowadays. In the future, we want to connect our site with this database, with this system, with the database of this system, and get all the information we need from this system. So that's why, right in their presentation, I said that it's very simple to us to get this information because we already have it in our database.
Okay, thank you very much. I suppose that it's really interesting to know how can we use the infrastructure in order to get this information and to take more information about the measure or the instrument or the client or something like that.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Varun.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno. Any other question, please write it down or raise your hand and you can ask. Speaking your question, please. Well, thank you very much, Bruno. We don't have additional questions. Thank you for your presentation and for answering this every question we have.